Speaking test instructions. There are 8 tasks in speaking test. The speaking test is about 15 to 20 minutes. The speaking test is the last part of the CELPIP test. Sample answers for all the tasks are given after each task completes. Time is up. Start speaking now. Honestly, I think installing solar panels can be a great investment, but it really depends on their situation. The big advantage is saving money on electricity bills over time, and of course, it's much better for the environment. Once the panels are paid off, the energy they produce is basically free, and that can add up to huge savings in the long run. Plus, in some places, you can even sell extra electricity back to the grid. The downside is the upfront cost. It can be pretty high, and it might take several years before they actually see the full financial benefit. Also, it works best if their house gets a lot of direct sunlight during the day. If they are planning to stay in the house for a long time, I'd say it's worth it. But if they might move soon, they should think carefully before making that kind of investment. Time is up. Start speaking now. A time when I had to make a decision without all the information was when I was organizing a community event. We had booked an outdoor venue for a weekend, but the weather forecast was uncertain. It showed a 50% chance of heavy rain. I didn't have updated weather details, and the deadline to confirm the venue was that same day. If I moved the event indoors, we would lose part of our deposit, but if I kept it outdoors and it rained, the event could be ruined. After weighing the risks, I decided to book a smaller indoor space as a backup. It cost a little extra, but it gave us flexibility. On the event day, it did rain for a few hours, so we moved indoors and still had a great turnout. This experience taught me that when you can't have perfect information, it's better to prepare for the worst-case scenario rather than take unnecessary risks. Time is up. Start speaking now. This picture shows a calm, green park on a mild day. In the foreground, two people are sitting on a wooden bench. On the left, a young police officer in a dark navy uniform is leaning slightly forward with his hands clasped, listening carefully. His badge and shoulder patch are visible, and his expression is focused and compassionate. On the right, an elderly man with white hair and a short beard is touching the side of his head as if he has a headache or is feeling unwell. He's wearing a light blue shirt with a grey cardigan and beige pants. Behind them, there's a gently curving pathway and tall trees with fresh leaves, creating a peaceful backdrop. No one else is nearby, so the conversation feels private and important. Overall, the scene captures a supportive moment. A concerned officer is giving his full attention while the older gentleman describes what's troubling him in this quiet park setting. Time is up. Start speaking now. In the next few minutes, I think the officer will continue asking calm, simple questions to understand what the gentleman needs. He may check for basic details, name, contact information, and where the man was heading, then radio dispatch with a brief welfare update. If the man reports dizziness or confusion, the officer will likely call for paramedics or community support unit, and encourage him to sit, breathe slowly, and sip water if available. The officer might also look for identification, a medical alert card, or a phone to contact a family member. If the gentleman starts feeling better, they could walk slowly to a shaded spot or to the patrol car while waiting for help. Either way, the officer will remain nearby, offer reassurance, and make sure the man is safe until the appropriate assistance arrives. Time is up. Start speaking now. I understand that buying a used blender for $40 sounds like a good way to save money, but I think the Blendmaster Pro 900 is a far better choice in the long run. A second-hand blender may have dull blades, a noisy motor, and no warranty, which means if it breaks, we'll have to replace it right away. It could also struggle with tougher ingredients like frozen fruit or nuts, making our smoothies lumpy and soups uneven. The Blendmaster Pro has a powerful 1200-watt motor and multiple speed settings, so it can handle anything from crushing ice to making silky sauces in seconds. The self-cleaning function saves a lot of time, especially on busy mornings, and a 5-year warranty gives us peace of mind. Since we'll be using it regularly for healthy meals and drinks, investing in something powerful, durable, and easy to maintain is smarter than dealing with constant repairs or replacements. Time is up. Start speaking now. Hey, I just heard about your passport situation, and I can only imagine how frustrated and stressed you must feel right now. I know we've been counting down the days to this trip for months, and it's disappointing to think we might not go as planned. But honestly, this isn't the end of the world, and I really don't want this to ruin our time together. Here's what I'm thinking. First, we can check if you qualify for an urgent passport renewal, because sometimes they process them in just a few days. If that's not possible, we could reschedule the trip for a later date so we still get to enjoy it the way we imagined. And if that's tricky too, maybe we could plan a smaller getaway somewhere local where passports aren't needed. Either way, I'm not giving up on having fun with you, so let's just see this as a temporary bump in the road. Hi, I'm calling regarding a booking I made for next week. It's under the name, your name. Unfortunately, my travel partner can't join the trip because their passport just expired, and we only discovered this when we double-checked the travel requirements. I'm really disappointed because we planned this for months, but I'm hoping there's some flexibility on your side. Could you please tell me if there's any possibility of rescheduling the trip for a later date, or even transferring one of the tickets to another person? If that's not possible, I'd like to know what portion of the booking could be refunded or credited toward future travel. I've booked with your agency multiple times and always had a positive experience, so I'm confident we can find a solution that works for both of us. I'd really appreciate any options you could provide. Time is up. Start speaking now. I believe students should be free to choose the subjects they like, even if they don't directly lead to a job. First of all, when students study something they are genuinely interested in, they are more motivated to learn and perform well. Passion often leads to deeper understanding and better results, which can still open unexpected career opportunities in the future. Secondly, education should be about developing well-rounded individuals, not just preparing for one specific job. Subjects like art, history, or philosophy may not directly lead to employment, but they teach critical thinking, creativity, and cultural awareness, skills that are valuable in any profession. Of course, I understand the argument for focusing on job-related subjects, especially in today's competitive job market. However, jobs and industries change over time, and it's impossible to predict exactly what will be in demand in the future. A broad education gives students flexibility to adapt. To sum up, while career preparation is important, I think students should have the freedom to explore their interests. In the long run, this can lead to both personal satisfaction and professional success. Time is up. Start speaking now. I'm looking at a wonderfully absurd scene set against a clear, summer blue sky. A Pembroke Welsh corgi, short legs, tan and white fur, fox-like face, is perched across a classic witch's broom, floating as if gravity simply took the day off. The dog wears a tall, pointed black hat that tilts over one ear and casts a tiny shadow across its eyes. Its front paws grip the broom's wooden handle, and the straw bristles stream out behind it like a little comet tail. Puffy white clouds drift at the same height, so we're definitely far above the ground, yet the corgi looks perfectly relaxed, mouth slightly open, eyes bright, almost smiling. What makes this image so memorable is the mix of crisp realism and pure impossibility. There's no harness, no wings, just a cheerful dog commuting by broomstick like a tiny sky witch. The mood is playful and magical, the kind of moment that turns an ordinary day into a fairy tale and briefly makes you believe pets have secret lives.